Oh yeah, I mean, also LAN is just completely different, bro. It's a different animal. I mean, now I understand why certain players are so sharp on their angles and why there's a bunch of jiggles going on. And you're gonna need to be here. I'm pretty sure what this first map is, Corrode. Cryo's gonna be on that chamber. I mean, if you're crew, you don't want to run into that guy just holding angles on you.
It really feels like Kess has kind of unlocked this team, Vance, in a number of different ways, right? First allowing Cryo to show more of that duelist side to him here, but Corrode, you know, be interesting to see that sort of map come up here. This 100 Thieves roster going up against Crew is kind of a banger match. Better than me maybe would have thought a few weeks back into Stage 1.
100%. I mean, when you're looking at how Zix looks at this group, and also Xander, they actually love this group right now too, because they feel like they're part of that group that's like the next of the pack, just behind G2, just behind Sentinels as the top two of the Americas. So if they have an opportunity right now to beat the best of the rest in this group, then they'll be quite comfortable going into the playoffs, and their goal is to reach at least that top two in the playoffs.
Got to talk Karuk here though as well, because another team that's had a bit of a facelift with the addition of a newer player, Dante Deus, obviously, who had a long stint with All Knights down there, you know, in South America. Got to see him compete at Ascension. One of the most unhinged, aggressive, no self-preservation instinct players. And I'm sat next to Baby Bay, and I'm saying that, so you know what's real.
No, yeah, and he's actually insane. And I think what's more important is like Kesnit's kind of role to kind of be that mentor for him, which is really cool to me, because I feel like we've been seeing Kesnit just be unleashed, and kind of like that pressure of being the main duelist is off of him now, and he's trying to relieve some of that pressure for Dante Deus.
Exactly, just be comfortable in the role right now. It's important what's going through, and yeah, the map vetoes you can see, we just talked about Corrode first, but Bind and Sunset, I feel that overall when you're looking at this, it should feel, if you're biased towards 100 Thieves, that it should be leaning 2-0 on that side. We haven't seen 100 Thieves play it yet, but for Bind and Sunset, those are also, Bind itself actually is a really good map for both of their teams. So that's going to be the main decider to me, if it's actually going to be a 2-0 for Crew, or if we're going to see that third map on Sunset.
I feel like Zix doesn't like to, you know, mix up the map pool all that much, right? You kind of know what you get with these guys. Bind back in the pool and back into the wheelhouse of 100 Thieves. Let's jump into Agent Select here and talk a bit of shot. We're going to have Cryo on that chamber just as expected. Kesnit, of course, as we've already seen Crew out here on Corrode, moves to the Omen role. It's Dante, take the spotlight.
Yeah, this crew comp is kind of becoming like a default for most teams. I mean, the Neon is just so good, especially on a new map, because there's so many fast timings you could take that teams aren't used to. But on the other end, you're seeing this chamber pick. There's so much potential for early picks and disruption against like a slow type of default if Crew are going to play that type of style.
Kess gets to show some of that initiator play as well. Something that I thought on Nightblood Gaming down in Challenges, we covered a few of his games. He looked really, really good there. So over to the Fade.
Yeah, and listen, a lot of the highlights that we saw from Kess last time on 100 Thieves, it wasn't with the Odin and stuff like that. Listen, this guy is an Odin fiend, man. Like, it's a big meme among all the players that this guy loves this weapon. And Corrode...
Ascent defense side, for example.
100%. Corrode is a map where there's so many spammable walls. I'm sure you're going to see him bust it out here today.
And it shows how much here that Kess brings value to the roster of 100 Thieves, because he came into match number 1 playing a Brimstone, playing a Cypher, but now he's playing one of his main roles, Fade and Sova, what he's used to in Challengers. Now he gets to play double Initiator with the team. It seems as though for 100 Thieves with this comp, they are trying to find the information of where Crew would want to default first on this map.
No Viper on this map for 100 Thieves, right? We see it be quite ubiquitous over the first couple of days of Corrode, really cutting up mid or setting up those retake walls.
That's why I think the pick on the chamber for Cryo is actually excellent. You negate a little bit of visibility by not having the walls, but the ult is very good for the chambers up.
It's time for Samsung match start. Load up fast with Samsung SSDs. Here come Crew again, and we're not quite at the stage of calling it a run, but they are looking pretty darn good, toppling a top 3 team from Stage 1 in MIBR to get to this game. But 100 Thieves also look pretty darn rejuvenated. 2 teams that are really vying for top of the tables here in Stage number 2. And it all starts here in the coming seconds on Corrode.
And a big test for Crew to kick things off, because on the attack side against MIBR, it was slow. They always had the same wall on the right side, but didn't threaten mid as fast as they are now.
Look at him, Dante so aggressive off the rip, but Cryo's able to intercept in there with a headhunter. Crew, though, already taking up in A main. Starting to inch the way forward. Cryo's got a second sense for it, but Manzino is able to find 2. Prowler follows up onto the site, and Crew are running in numbers. 100 Thieves have to try and filter in through the back of the site here, but it's ugly, it's messy. And it's down to Kess, who's essentially stranded in mid.
Yeah, you're already seeing the power of the double controller comp shine through. I mean, that smoke off the elbow as soon as Cryo takes out Dante on that A connector split. it's just too powerful. And if you don't hit your shots, I mean, KRU could have disrupted there, but again, you're running through a smoke. You don't know what's in front of you.
And it came down to duels right after that because they see the Viper Wall come up too, and the pivot rather from 100 Thieves to fight towards A main. But KRU had so many players to pressure on that point first, and you know they're damn good shooters.
And again, of course, retake opportunities can be challenging on some of these maps. If you're fast enough on this attack side, KRU continuing to thrust Dante into the face of 100 Thieves, but obviously head into an anti-eco here. 100 Thieves already starting to filter down mid amidst this smoke pretty quickly.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You have to pressure this mid. Shy was deposited there on that last pistol round, so already a lurk of threat, and 100 Thieves are trying to find that right now. But look at this pressure at A. All of Elbow being taken. This is a free A site for the taking.
Yeah, something that KRU has been doing a lot too last week was pressuring on the sides and then try to hit mid a little bit later. This, of course, an anti-eco, so you are staying as a group. You realize that A site's open. It's a free plant. You know the stack's somewhere else, so just play your 5 players together here.
They get to cross for free.
Yeah.
No one from 100 Thieves really looking out for him. Mazzino, of course, will be sitting back. Could be hard to split this A side on retakes, guys. It looks like 100 Thieves might be priced into a flood through Link.
Yeah, you want to try to do as much damage as possible right now or just drop to the spike. But look at Shy. He's already wrapping around. He's already on the hunt. This guy's going to be a menace in this entire series. We're going to have to keep track of if 100 Thieves can kind of maintain this guy's lurks. We know how good Shy is.
But the Vice player acts as a bit of a pivot here and sits very deep in mid on the attack side a lot. So you doing this as well the other day. Shy now will wait. 100 Thieves here might not really be thinking of a grander plan other than just perishing to the spike blast. So Shy might be looking to get himself a little bit of extra cash. Paranoia came through there. Kesnet gives a good account, but goes down to 20. Needs to give us a bit of room. 100 Thieves just want to be left alone by the looks of things. Kess out the game, though, and that will be the round. Not much more to be said. 100 Thieves with 3 out to the blast.
You're just gonna have to keep an eye too on 100 Thieves, what they're doing here on the defense. Yes, it's only an eco. They've inserted Asuna down towards that bottom middle, but that was also something that got a lot of value for MIBR when they're playing the defensive side of KRU, because again, KRU is always playing on these extremities, and the Viper Wall is not cutting mid. You're threatening for a split into the A side, so there's a little bit more room to work with on the defense to counter the mid-rounding against KRU.
Right, Kess has an Odin already.
I told you, you got to be careful for this guy. He's dangerous with this weapon. This B main spam, it's so underrated, but the cool thing for KRU is they're not really going there. It's all sights set on mid. They are going to meet a little bit of resistance here, though.
Smoke's trying to cast it there already in the TP animation. Goes down, caught out, and now 100 Thieves might try and take some more liberties. Pushing up on his defense side. Melza spotted out in the open with the spike, no less. Cut off by the smoke. Our KRU completely stranded was Dante Deus. And that gun round falls over very quickly. Of what felt like just a pretty decisive push up mid by the defenders.
Yeah, that was a hard read from Asuna right there. Just spamming the smoke, understanding that that's a set play from Kesnet. He likes to TP all the way up, try to take that fast timing. 100 Thieves not getting caught off guard by that is signs of good prep.
Exactly, that the prep is right there. I feel like playing this double initiator, trying to find the scans against the opponents, especially playing it against double controllers that are playing smokes, slicing information on middle. So you have recon dart and also a haunt at the same time. That's 2 targets to look out for. So if 2 players are actually focused on breaking that info or breaking the info darts, then the other ones are just going to play it down by the push of 100 Thieves. Beautiful counter aggression coming out on the defensive side.
Asuna hope that the birthday buff might be in effect today. 22 years young. Still going strong here, of course, in Americas. And again, the plan seems to be the same. Asuna wants to flash himself out behind his clone. And the wall is very permeable.
Wow.
He was able to bring Melsa down quickly.
That spike.
Once again, how deep is that spike? This trending over towards A here for KRU. Getting them caught out in the open. 100 Thieves more than happy, Dre, to take these fights straight down the guts.
Yeah, the double scan just gives you so much confidence to pull through. And also, because there is no mid wall, there's less spots to hide from those scans, right? So you're just exposed in the open. You take that mid-2 area, it's just over for you. And we're seeing that right now, 400 Thieves. Not only that, but Kess held it down on Shy's lurk at B with the Odin. So now they know that that is a constant threat too.
And the threat that they put towards middle for KRU is always like a stop and go, as you see. They make it up towards the A-link. You need Melzer to really move forward there with the fade, so you could Prowler and give a little bit of space for Dante to grab into that fight. But you're moving up there with the spike. If the ideal already there for KRU is to try to get that mid-control and play it slow, they need to leave the spike down a little bit back down towards middle, because the other 2 are still playing extremities, trying to find the informations on the pushes.
Yeah, you also need to try to bait out some of that initiator utility and then go on the 2nd or even 3rd cycle, right? You cannot fall for this trap.
That's where it gets difficult too, because the last round it was only 1 recon dart. There was no haunt this time around, so 100 Thieves also has the opportunity of cycling these drones.
Arsenal's pushed up big time in B main. 100 Thieves content not to give any room here to KRU, but there is a salvo of Stingers waiting around the corner, and Kess just runs it down. EU, though, clean as a whistle. 3 headshots, and he'll be happy enough to back away with that. It's just Kesnet inside the smoke will deal with the encroaching shorty threat. And it means that Cryo and Xander now can split the map, but Cryo's already on a wrap. 100 Thieves are very proactive. I mean, in general, seen it on their bind as well. This map, though, they've been straight off the starter's block in the opening seconds.
That's all they want.
And I think that's because you have so much information, right? That's where the double initiator pulls through and gives you the confidence to kind of crunch the map there. And the cool thing is on one end, you have a chamber just locking it down. You don't even care if they go to the chamber site. You actually want that. You're inviting that in, especially now. I believe Cryo's going to be able to buy an operator into this. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty tough for KRU. Maybe we're going to see a timeout after this next round if they end up losing it. Nice shots, by the way. Jeez.
I mean, Melser is calling again here for KRU, right? Kind of reluctant in some ways. I feel like it was like a passing of the conch last year with, you know, no one sort of really wanted to take up that responsibility.
Minus IGL Melzer split 1, come back IGL split 2, make champs for the last couple of years.
That's the formula.
Could be the run now for KRU in this stage 2. But here's that op being challenged in front of A main, but already getting pushed down. So it looks like they potentially already identified Cryo and want to give up that space already on KRU's side and rework on the other extremity.
Oh, it's pretty clean. Okay, decent crossfire setup, but Kess isn't really able to get involved, despite how permeable that box is. A lot of this map is pretty paper mache to these wallbangs.
Yeah, especially on that B site. I mean, pretty much all of that default site is just spammable. So both initiators here as well. I mean, if you run into this blender, you might get cooked.
Oh, no way. Oh, he's caught him already. EU is on one today. And also confirmation on Shy's position. Steel Guard on in hand for the Vice. Player advantage so for 100 Thieves. And now KRU are milling about and considering a re-hit over towards the B side.
I'll have to relook at that. I don't know if there was any call that made him throw the blind ult right into main. I think get so much value out of it.
Okay, I guess I've been trying to get clear maybe of the Steel Guard, but Melser was stuck waiting on the corner. And an elbow, EU is posted up. Sits tight. Here's plenty of footsteps. Player swinging around the smoke, though Shy's able to catch him out from a player disadvantage. KRU had claimed it back into the saddle. Cryo now has to try and work mid alongside Xander with the op in hand. See Kess's corpse there with a very threatening Odin of the last couple of rounds. He's the paranoia, catches Melzer out. He's not quite close enough. Shy and Kezen are split on the site. Xander knows he's going to swing this hard, but Kezen is going to lock it down. It's on Cryo here. This is a pretty tough proposition for the man.
Gotta save this, man.
Yeah.
You want this operator in the following round. You have 900 bucks to your name. Yeah, everybody else is healthy, but if you want to have both the op and the Odin, you surely have to save this. What a nicely timed ult from Shy, right, on that mid split. I was going to say, KRU should identify that if the mains are being fought very hard on, and you knew the chamber was A main, you know that their Asuna was in B main, mid should be weak. That is the gap. So a good timing taken all the way up, and that pairing with the ult of Shy, that was beautiful.
Especially after also hearing the 100 Fury coming in from the defender spawn right here, where EU gets great value out of. But yes, a great call in the mid round for KRU. Could just come up on middle instead. And this is something too that was mentioned on the side of Zix. Focusing on their stage 2 was like they're really good at working, and they were trying to work protocols to make sure that they stay as a group and fight. But when it comes down to them being separated and try to do individual plays, it doesn't always work out in their favor. So if KRU is able to continue to thin out the defense and work as a death ball on a lot of 2v1s, you're starting to see these results here in a tied game so far.
All across mid there, it is Cryo can just stand out in the open, and Kesnet, well, it didn't really stand a chance, and that's going to hurt. It's a big part of your controller core taken off the table early in the round.
Yeah, I want everybody to notice the change of game plans that 100 Thieves have been showing. I mean, it's extremity control in the round before, and now it's 3 players in mid to fight. The constant change of pace and the switch up just leaves IGLs in a bit of like a blunder on what the defensive setup is going to do. And with this composition for 100 Thieves, you kind of feel like you need to be proactive with that chamber sometimes, especially with how they lost the last round, getting mid-rounded so hard.
And this is face up to 100 Thieves. They see 2 players be main. KRU bringing a couple of extra players over now. When you've got your op looking straight down mid, you know if there's going to be a cross attempt.
And Xander has always been smoking towards A main and never got pressured on that side. So they definitely know here the last second hit is coming towards this B site. They have both initiators play. Han, Recon above the smokes to try to fight back.
High-low setup here in B Heaven. This info gained by 100 Thieves with the pressure now is on, and there's the overdrive. Dante trying to run them ragged. In mid here again, 100 Thieves had to find a response, but Dante is a little too quick with it, and he's waiting for Xander to step up as well. Ooh, Viper's pick coming down, pre-plant here, KRU looking to stick it, and Dante's found his third of the round, running them into the ground. What a showing from the newcomer to KRU.
That was absolutely massive. And I gotta point out the neon wall that separated the entire site to make sure nobody got spammed on the way in. That was so massive, and it was such a small thing. But it allows your entire team to flood through, and now it allows for Dante to have confidence after getting, what, 4 in that round? And when young players like this get the confidence going, they could feel unstoppable. And he's on that neon roll. I mean, this is pivotal.
Is that what happened after you guys gave Zek 4 on Lotus?
Yes, bro. When these players start popping off, they could really take control of the game.
I wouldn't be surprised either with the wall that was used here by Dante that they might even allow Kesnet to TP on top of that, kind of like a Haven style when they execute here towards this B side. So let's keep an eye open for that. This round though, KRU focusing more towards the A side. The economy's not the best though for 100 Thieves to work with.
They are going to walk the smoke in A main, so KRU with a decent tempo in this round. Xander's about to encounter them. That is a pretty hefty paranoia to connect. Is able to step aside though from the relay bolt. And none of these reinforcements are making their way in towards the back of that A side. Cryo steps out. He's got that hero rifle and he puts it to great work. Mazzino already out of the picture here. He's going to have a little bit more though to juggle. Arsena tucked in that corner, but Cryo has really got this Vandal involved in the round.
Yeah, he looks dialed in right now on this angle, and now it's up to Shy to try to make magic out of something. He should try to go towards B, take that 1v1 against Kess and call his team back, but it looks like KRU, they just want to run it down.
Oh, to the Marshal of all things, Kesnet eats a headshot. And straight away, it looks like we've called a cancel on this. Kess will be the sole player over on the B site for now. It's sat on that Sheriff.
Left.
And unlikely 100 Thieves will be able to respond all that quickly. It's an awkward spot to try and anchor here for Kess as well. He doesn't need to. Takes the shots, backs away. Spike drop that's going to buy time for the rest of 100 Thieves.
And you have Fade Ult still if you want to invest it. I mean, why not? You know, secure the round win right now and break the economy. Get some stuff going for yourself.
So he's dropped in. Kess roughly aware of where Shy is going to be, but now that Heaven position's about to be taken up, Shy is going to feel the net close in, and EU puts him out of his misery nice and quick. And it starts off, fans, with that Cryo 2-piece there sat in A main. Really holds it down.
Very lucky here for 100 Thieves, and a good read to put Cryo at the right spot to get those opener fights into the anchored site on the A side. But that said, I do agree with what you were saying, Dre. The decision made by Kess to rotate outside of B main just to try to stay alive. He meets an opponent, gets the kill, now he doesn't have to use his ult, but if it did come down to those 2 players still inside the site, the other 2 were still full rotating from the A side for 100 Thieves. You definitely do need that Nightfall for that information. So smart decision making for, again, a rookie player on the side of 100 Thieves and putting great value into the roster.
Yeah, and it's another gear up all towards A for KRU. They want to run it back. They said, oh, we lost the last round when you guys didn't have guns. I guess we're just going to send it when you do. Let's see if there's an Omen ult play here from Kesnet.
This is going to be fast. Immediately, yep, TP towards the backside of A for Kesnet. He's going to stick it. However, EU ready for it. It doesn't matter. Kesnet is able to get the better of him in that duel. Traded out eventually by Xander, who does get there. A site not quite open yet. Xander still stood in the way, but Shy's able to bowl him over. And now we've still got the Odin coming back into hand for Kess. There's that Nightfall, of course, from the previous round. Mel's are also going to eat a Prowler straight away. And there are too many angles to account for here. Tour de Force claims one. And that'll be 100 Thieves responding to that hard, fast hit from KRU.
And it just looks all too easy for 100 Thieves right now on this defensive side. KRU, yeah, you get control of elbow, but how much space really is that when you can just anchor on A side? You have a split coming from CT. I feel like elbow control is not, it's like Fugazi. It's not really real on this map. It's like, okay, the defenders are willing to let you have that. You still have to run all the way through the site. Now, if it's a crunch, I understand a little bit more, but there's been no pressure towards that connector from KRU.
So we did see KRU try and set up for maybe like an A crunch with that fast push up mid, but it got spammed out too early. So this is their variation. This is the adjustment to those first few rounds, Vans, where they basically just died through smoke 3 or 4 players over a couple of rounds.
But the good thing for KRU so far is they are able to find that space to actually even cross the line into the A site and even towards B to try to play some sort of pulse plant scenario. When they were playing last week against MIBR, they couldn't get any of the extremity control because they were also getting owned by any type of combo utility coming on the other side. So one thing I gotta praise KRU for is how they're actually working that map and making sure that they're also able to fight toe-to-toe against 100 Thieves' anchoring positions. But now you're starting to see here on the position of where Cryo's at as this chamber, his opportunity to be able to TP away very quickly and to get these fights very quickly against KRU has been a pain point, very similar to how Aspas was playing in these open spots towards A. So they have to try to shut him down.
Adam there, getting on the mic. He's been with KRU for quite some time now, hoping to lead them forward after a bit of a back and forth. Stage 1 here in Americas. We're heading in around there where money's a little tight, so Dante, of course, has picked himself up the stinger. 100 Thieves, though, really able to stabilize. Kess still with that Odin to hand, and we might just be running back this fast A hit.
Still, this A pressure, you do have a lurk this time, but it's just going to get stuffed out. Again, that double initiator utility is so good at getting info on mid. You have Cryo with that outlaw as well. You know how much damage that does against light armor.
Straight away, 100 Thieves again, play for that mid control. In fact, asking more of a question than we've seen from them in previous rounds. Cryo sees the shoulder, knows that's the lurk player, and Arsena's already far forward enough to take Mazzino, but Xander is overwhelmed at A, so the fast hit does at least create an opening. Either's kind of happy to fall back to this position, but it's tough to deal with that. The slide came in, and this will be a plant now for KRU. Got themselves a Phantom to hand.
So it's been difficult, though, for them to hold the pulse plant for KRU's side. You're already seeing 100 Thieves looking to pinch back from spawn and Cryo on a late lurk right after. So the noise has to be made from the top of the A site.
Oh, that's dirty stuff from Kesnet. Okay, the Outlaw silenced for now. Arsenal looking for a fight. Kesnet did not want to give it to him. Through smoke now, Kess is trying to create an opening, but they are limited. Oh, okay, smoke came down, as did the curtain on Dante's round. Straight through this Razorbind now. Kess knows he needs to take matters into his own hands, and he throws him in the wood chipper. Now Arsenal can cover him here as he goes for the defuse, and 100 Thieves bounce back after KRU get a foothold.
Kess with the Odin. I set it up perfectly before the game even started. He's an animal with this gun. I mean, he just destroyed everybody on that retake. 100 Thieves had no right winning that. Only an Odin can do something like that, man. Just spray and pray.
You're starting to see it's almost looking like the gameplay here for 100 Thieves on the defensive side. I do respect what KRU's currently doing, continuously pushing and pressuring towards the A side because they're not playing against a Vice, they're not playing against a Sage. They're just playing against an Omen. It's easy for you to get through, but you have to be better on your protocols for the pulse plant.
Yeah, and they also made an adaptation of going slant this time instead of going elbow, which was perfect. They got the sight, but yeah, the pulse plants are just not clean.
It's not on the outside either, right? You're not on the edges of planning on the A site where you can play outside of A. They're forced to play deep inside.
Cryo has a rendezvous out there, pinged out by the Haunt. Crosshair placed a little higher. And now that spike trending in the B direction, but that's got to be held.
Yeah. It was conditioning it to start things off there, but Cryo was already set up, and yeah, they're not expecting the high-low at that point with Asuna.
Such a good bait play, man. You're just not expecting Asuna on that off angle all the way deep. I mean, the last time he played it, he was a little bit closer. You know, you could peek him and see him instantly almost. This time, tucked all the way on top of truck.
I feel like I was back in round 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So this is KRU now. The plan out of the timeout was to slow the pace down and work like a slow scaling into this B side of the map. Here's that fast lane. So half a Kestis into wood for the trees here. Looks like there was a ping out there straight through the smoke. Arsenal gets caught, but here's Kess and EU once more combining for 3. And Melsa is caught on the outside looking in.
It's just the initiator show right now from 100 Thieves. I mean, EU and Kess are both just taking over this map in terms of the info that they're gathering for their team. Yeah. But even the shots that they're hitting individually. I mean, remember EU's 3K that he got in B main earlier.
You also see the assist coming out from Asuna with the flashes, and it almost gives me like how G2 was also trying to play it against Sentinels last week when you're trying to play these recon flashes to play outside of the smoke when the executions comes in. But now adding the extra, again, initiator utility from like the Haunt or a recon with the flashes, it's getting too much value for the counters on the hits from KRU.
So I don't know, you've probably seen this in scrims, some teams preferring the double initiator style. Are you just trying to draw that util out as much as you can and play these slower rounds?
Yeah, you have to bait this utility out, not get caught by the traps, and then just understand what's heavy after that, right? If you're seeing a lot of initiator pressure at mid, then one of the extremities is probably going to be weak, right? And you need to play this push and pull on the maps.
It's a great call, because if you realize that the initiators are playing towards middle, then probably the extremity is going to be crying with the op. What can you do? You have Dante, he has relay bolts, you have utility to actually clear out the oppers and then gain that space right after with a fast flood. So they have to definitely try to figure out on their end with what they have in their arsenal of where the positions of 100 Thieves are at.
We saw that, right? We saw a quick probe to A, and I think it haunted off the line, but Cryo won't be shifted by Initiator Util this time around. Takes his pound of flesh, backs away. But now Crew have gotten all the way up mid. So a transition towards the B side seems reasonable, but they've got to assume that that's where the train was falling back to. Oh, wheels are falling off. One time the Huddersfield from EU, and they are caught in the thick of things. Still got an attempt there from Shy, but no one from 100 Thieves playing remotely close to that. It's an op on one side, Huddersfield on the other.
Even a bunker smoke given for Kess as well here. Two of them. In fact, I mean, Crew know there's a player in here for sure. But what can you do? He's got a shorty, man.
And he's also like, okay, well, live your life, Kess, because we're just watching the spike.
Well, it was a short-lived life. EU able to at least pick up that position. It's down to Shy. The spike's loose, though, and it's in mid. This really should be better formality for the last round of the half here, as 100 Thieves always seem to have the answers because they always see it coming from Crew.
No more thorns. Retrieving fly.
So what can Shy do here?
It's going to be difficult, man. They have
left.
such a good crossfire setup. They've been backing up a little bit more, playing the time in their favor here for 100 Thieves.
Xander happy to stand amongst the Razor Vine. 18 seconds, Shy has to try and take the fight. Oof, with Shy at the helm, you always feel like it's possible, but no. After 12 rounds of play, 100 Thieves 8-4 in round score. And we saw Crew take a timeout. They're trying to mix up the approach a couple of different ways, but doesn't quite feel like they got the finger on the pulse just yet.
Yeah, I respect Dante swinging out that part because the Neon is actually very quick before the smoke comes up, but the combination for 100 Thieves on defense is just too good.
Dude, that set play was so sick. There was even a paranoia used from Xander, too, to help out.
All right, we're going to do a break, folks. We'll be back on the second half of Corrode. It's 100 Thieves vs Crew.
I know what you're thinking. Total glow up. What's her secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick?
I'd suggest a classic cat eye.
Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this.
Well, if it was Crew with the questions in round number one, or map, or rather first half, it was 100 Thieves with the answer most of those rounds, I'd want to say. 12 rounds of play, first half down, 100 Thieves, 8-4. A very gainful defense side, but I feel like they could see it coming.
Yeah. The positive thing about the first half, though, at least from Crew, despite them being behind by 4 rounds, is the fact that Dante actually has a better opening first map than he did against MIBR and Corrode. Secondly, if you're looking at that last game against MIBR, they were actually doing quite well on defense as well. So this is not in the bag yet for 100 Thieves on the attack, who we have yet to see in their attack side calling.
Speaking of which, looks like the plan was to hit W and go for it. Aggressive opening here over towards the B side of the map, and Xander has already plucked Kesnet out of the midst. That's a lot of that stall util already handled, but the Horde does confirm 100 Thieves are lingering here in main.
Yeah, everybody's there.
Yeah, you can't go back at this point. You got a full commit.
Seems to be the plan, but KRU are getting in position now. The rotate coming across from Mazzino. 100 Thieves know they're on a clock. Don't want to be overwhelmed here. They've made their way onto the site, and that is sharp stuff. Now KRU have been forced out to the extremities, and Arsene is looking for more. There's a swing from Mazzino. He is hitting those shots, and would have been up to Shy, but not much he could have done in that window. 100 Thieves. Perfect start for them here in the second half of Corrode.
I'm actually quite surprised though, Dre. If you're looking at the haunt that got information on 5 people on that ping, their reaction to players on middle, nobody was moving. Shy was still staying in that corner, activated Razor Vines on the rotate as well. I feel there was a lack of miscommunication.
I guess they thought there was going to be a cancel call. I mean, maybe at worst, just leave one player there and just fortify that B site, but honestly, Asuna played that so well, tagging I think it was, he tagged Dante and elbow through the wall. Like, Dante didn't even see him on a screen, got dropped down to 1 HP, and then he just wraps back sight. This guy is playing on another level right now. I don't know if it's because it's his birthday
buff
or what's going on. Yeah, birthday buff. But yeah, he's looking extremely confident.
Is it that peak esports competitor age? You
Yeah,
know
for real. Actually,
30, of course, 30.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
All right,
You haven't reached your peak yet.
Yeah, people were
First time
memeing
I
about
cast
that.
him in a professional match 7 years ago.
Crazy.
7 years ago.
We were just mentioning, I think the first time we casted together in Valorant was a Cloud9 versus FaZe game on Bind, so I think it was actually you in that game as well, Dre. So we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back.
Making me feel young. You guys are making me feel young,
He makes
baby.
anybody feel good, bro. Opens his mouth. It's like a fountain of youth is just, washed over me.
How do you do, fellow
no,
kids?
The
Speaking
water
of washing, dude, listen.
We can't be doing
Some people
that
just
in the
like
big 2025, man.
like the moistness, the environment, you know what I mean? Feel like that. Just try and stay supple out there.
I love how it just says player as well, so you don't actually point fingers on who actually spilled the water.
we know. We've seen it. Obviously, we're a bit more elbow to elbow here in this kind of setup, so like your desk mate is like, bro, come on, man. Keep that on your side of things. I mean, let's take stock of things, right? Arsenal's obviously having a great game. We've loved what we've seen from Kess so far, but just overall, 100 Thieves have a great pistol round in the second half. We're really happy just with this double initiator comp and how they've made it work. But conversely, Vans, you definitely had some questions about how KRU adapted to just this innate ability for 100 Thieves to get advanced information and be exactly where they need to late in the round.
Yeah. No, like I said, KRU are very good in understanding where those positions are going to be and where the weaknesses were against 100 Thieves. It's just whatever happens into that post plant that they didn't have a chance to do, which they actually couldn't have a chance to iron that out against their game against MIBR. Because I think against the MIBR game, they didn't have that many plants on their side either on the attack, so you don't have that opportunity to put those reps in. But at least to iron out what happens at the beginning of the round before the barriers come up, they're doing an excellent job. 100 Thieves, definitely, as we mentioned before, first time that they're playing this map on this split. Looking pretty good.
Obviously, a bit of a pistol. KRU love nothing more than to take 5 people and put them in the middle of the map. Doesn't matter where they are. If it's a day that ends in day, they'll be doing it. You like that one, Vance? Yeah, I'll keep it coming, bro.
No, it was a good one. I mean, they hear all these footsteps now, so it looks like 100 Thieves are just willing to fight fire with fire here. That paranoia got so much value.
I reckon with this weapon advantage, 100 Thieves are more than happy to take fights like this. Feels like they spent the first part of the round just trying to find out where the KRU deathball was coming from.
Yeah, this kind of feels like the story of this map so far. I mean, yeah, 100 Thieves had a lot of good reads because of their info on the defensive side, but they're also really willing to take the fights and take them confidently. I mean, they're hitting every single shot right now. Even KRU on that death ball, like, there's a little bit of opportunity, but a little bit timid, I feel like KRU is. I feel like they're really feeling the pressure right now of a team that's coming in to the map warm.
I just feel that this matchup overall is actually quite nice for both of the teams.
I don't got money like that.
Hey, bro,
Yeah,
we know
Not
that's
yet,
cat, bro.
brother.
We know that's cat, bro.
You'll get there, little bro. You'll get there.
But if anything, like, both teams love to brawl. Both teams play as a team when they go for the executions and the trades. And also the map pool is fairly similar. Again, Bind is coming up next. Both teams very good on this one as well. I wouldn't be surprised now if they trade out maps going into the series for us to see Sunset.
But 100 Thieves are very much like conditioned to KRU taking that space in mid. But they're obviously playing this double initiator style. He'll steal. Oh no, Melsa.
It's just one of those games, man.
He wasn't
It's
even
just one of
pinged
those
out. He
games.
wasn't even pinged out by one of the 42 scan bits of util on this 100 Thieves side.
Just feels like this is the map
Yeah.
for this to happen. Like, these smokes happen from top to bottom. You kind of just think you're going to jump on the top of the ledge. You try to find the timing of where players are going to be and just spray. Because you could try to hide behind the walls, but it's paper thin as well. You just wall bang at the same time. So if you don't get kills, potentially you could still get some damage done, and that allows you to get some upper hand in the long game in the round.
Flash in now, of course. Gate crash across the way. It's Arsenal got caught out, though. That was apparently a little telegraph. Paranoia. Oh, Cryo tries to respect it, but he's going to be nearsighted by it, and Keza can see him across the way. I love this TP from Xander. Headshot onto Keza, but he still stands at 35. Keza able to pick up the pieces. Now Mazzino has to rotate in from across the map, pinged out instantly. Advance warning, and we know what 100 Thieves do with that. They close. Nicely done here. 11-4.
Just that supporting cast, the supporting utility. Yeah, the Vice wall goes up. It cuts off Cryo. The fact that he's still able to get one is amazing if you're 100 Thieves. And because you got that pick early on, you're willing to take that trade.
Look at that.
Look at that. I mean,
But they aren't playing with a Viper. When you got a Viper wall in mid like that, you can't peek that box. But when you just have the
There's
Omen,
3 mid, it's literally ARAM, bro.
But you were talking about support utility coming out from 100 Thieves on execution. That's what Shy was desperately looking for towards that B site, because he did a great job just anchoring and slowing down as much as he could. You saw the rotates coming out from KRU all the way from that mid connector, but there was nothing to really help out from the Vice flash to get value so that you get kills from the Vice position at the elbow. So yeah, that's just unfortunate. It looked, again, I want to give hope to how KRU are currently approaching the map, but they're definitely being outplayed by the utility usage and the timings on those.
yeah, utility usage. I mean, even just getting picked off like that through the smoke.
Yeah, that's just
look,
unlucky.
That was the gun round.
But we could sit here and say it's unlucky and stuff, but those tracers from the Odin, I mean, there's only one spot you could be spamming from, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't have the solidified information. I think you go for that spam on maybe if you're playing against a Neon comp that just likes to run straight up mid, but doing it like that late into the round actually kind of is not in your favor anymore, right?
That's an interesting point, because that was something that Sentinels did nonstop against you
Oh,
guys,
yeah,
and they
dude,
got
it was
Megaton
so
very
annoying.
quickly.
Yep.
And that's the same composition here that KRU is currently using, and they're not basically doing the same thing here of trying to get that early mid aggression. So again, it's tough.
So the now Cryo has the Outlaw as well. Everyone's low armor on the side of KRU. You could really play this as slow as you want if you're 100 Thieves and just let the chamber work.
And I don't think I've seen them cross into mid in the first 45 seconds of any of these attack side rounds. And look at that, they're back out of A main. KRU really just barking as the cage is rattled. And now Arsene is going to make his way through mid. Just gate crash, obviously, to let him get across and cancel. I don't think he just want to set up here, try and hit the softer site. Our drone does see a player position further forward, and there's Dante out of the picture. Cryo lingering back towards mid.
And now because you baited out that Vi's wall early in the round, right, with the clone of Asuna, you're allowed to double back after showing that mid pick on the rotate. Now, this should be info now for KRU that this is probably a pivot towards A, but the rotations are just too late.
Oh my god, the 145s off the Sheriffs, though, have been pretty nice. Cryo and Xander both taken a big hit. That range cannot be a kill. Right, still 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 kills in the round. And it's a 12-4 scoreline here. KRU, one last chance to give us a decent rifle round to stay in the game.
Yeah, this is one of those, the warm-up map is what we like to call it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just get bodied, and there's nothing you can do about it, man. I mean, yeah, a lot of nice plays from 100 Thieves. Good outplay on the macro. Take this with a grain of salt if you're KRU. Try to accumulate as many rounds as you can, for sure. Try to win this next gun round, of course. Just keep trying to get warm into this, because you are also just getting outshot. Like, let's just be honest here.
Yeah, you definitely saw the resurgence of KRU in the second map and third map last week, so history could repeat.
Okay, nice little proactive push here out of the B side of the map. Before 100 Thieves can really get set up in main. Damage trade, of course. Dante able to walk away with his life. Elsewhere, there's some exploration going on. Cryo's trying to see what he can scrounge up on the A side. Oh, take off. It is pretty straightforward for 100 Thieves to try and tempt KRU into another engagement. That one does not break their way.
That's now Hunter's Fury for EU.
Oh, he's too clean with it, bro. He's so good with the Odin. It's just disgusting, man. He just peeked the Vandal with an Odin. Crouch peeked him.
Took 0 damage, by the way.
I mean, come on, man. No, yes, Fade ult. I mean, this one's in the bag right now for 100 Thieves, unless there's some ridiculous heroics from the side of KRU.
But they have no info.
Yeah, they got everything they need. For Cryo, he's posted up on one side. They had a trip watch in middle. Both initiators have all of their utilities, so they could drone, they could prowler, they could recon with the Hunter's Fury, and also Fade ult. I mean, they're in a good spot to win this round here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, you just go A connector here, Fade ult the entire site. you're gonna hit nobody. Maybe Shy can play on the outside edges of the Fade ultimate, but
I mean,
it's still, you're just gonna get overwhelmed right here, surely.
you're gonna get deafened, you're gonna get nothing, you're gonna get Odin'd.
Shy faces the music. That was exactly as you drew it up, Vans.
So
10
freaky,
seconds
man.
left.
This gun and this gun on land especially is just, it's so hard to play against. And now you have info that no one's even spawned yet, so you can really just play time now. If Kess even wants to, we can go all the way back A main, play the spam, be the win condition. He doesn't even care though. He's just gonna battle.
Those that need to fight. You have Hunter's Fury to close and seal the deal at their first map, so you have to move quickly for Crew.
We're going to try and find a way to take these fights, Crew, but 100 Thieves going to give them a respectful berth. Oh, it was down to Dante, the sliver of health, and there it is, folks. An open and shut case in map number 1. 100 Thieves take Crew to task, serving up the fattest of L's in the form of a 13-4.
Fattest of L's indeed. I mean, 100 Thieves had a really good understanding of how to play their composition on this map and how to play against Crew's comp, especially when they were